stop the tape right now, because what I'm about to show you isn't a rumor, it isn't fan fiction, it's a pattern, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Watkins Glen, May 2026. Shane van Gisbergen carves through the field like he's driving a different category of race car. 7th Cup win, road course domination. The bloke is fair dinkum, the closest thing NASCAR has to a road course god since Jeff Gordon was in his prime. 5-race road course winning streak, 50% win rate from 14 road course starts. 50%, read that again. Now flip the channel. Kansas 3 weeks earlier, same driver, same team, same crew. He finishes 29th, no speed, no grip, no answers. Ross Chastain, the so-called team leader, limps home 26th. Tyler Reddick wins it in overtime in a 23 X1 car that on paper shouldn't be that much faster than a Trackhouse Chevy. So here's the question that's been burning up Aussie and Kiwi NASCAR forums for 6 straight months. Is Shane van Gisbergen getting a raw deal at Trackhouse Racing? And is Rick Hendrick, that Rick Hendrick quietly preparing the golden ticket out? Strap in, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why SVG's days in that number 88 Chevy are numbered, and why 2027 might be the year a Kiwi finally gets the equipment he actually deserves. Let's lay the cards on the table. No spin, no copium, just data. Through 13 races of the 2026 Cup Series, Shane sits 16th in points, 283 points scored, 284 points behind the leader, 1 win, 1 pole, and here's the kicker that nobody at Trackhouse wants to talk about. Every single bit of his statistical value comes from road courses. Strip out Watkins Glen and COTA, and SVG's average finish on ovals is hovering around 24th. Now, the Trackhouse PR machine will tell you he's adapting. It's a learning curve. Ovals are a different world. And look, Shane himself has been brutally honest. He said super speedway racing is a different world and that 2026 would look different. He's a legend for owning it, but here's where the story turns dark. Because back in February at Echo Park Speedway, SVG fought through 2 spins to grab a 6th place finish, his career best oval result. He proved he can do it. He found what he called the Shane Van Larson line, going up high where nobody else dared. The talent is there, the grit is there, so if the driver is delivering, why is the car getting worse? Reddit's been on fire about this. One thread from the r/NASCAR community said it bluntly: SVG was running better in cowling equipment in the few races he ran last season. The cars Trackhouse are putting out are absolutely awful. Think about that. A second-tier team in 2024 gave Shane better speed than Trackhouse is giving him now. And it's not just Shane suffering. Connor Zilisch, Trackhouse's golden boy, the kid Justin Marks promoted to Cup to replace Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin himself, said on his podcast that Zilisch's Trackhouse cars simply aren't at the level needed to consistently beat the elite teams. Hamlin compared Zilisch's path directly to SVG's, so if Hamlin sees it, and the data shows it, and the fans see it, what's actually going on behind closed doors at Trackhouse? And why has Justin Marks been so weirdly quiet about Shane's oval program? That's where this gets murky. Stay with me. Here's the part of the story that the mainstream American media won't touch, but Aussie and Kiwi fans have been screaming about for months. Trackhouse Racing is not a meritocracy right now. It's a marketing project. When Justin Marks signed Shane van Gisbergen, he didn't just sign a driver, he signed a story. The Kiwi who won Chicago on debut, the 3-time Supercars champion, the bloke who could open up the entire Australasian market for NASCAR, and mate, that's gold for sponsors. But here's the rub, that the moment SVG became the road course guy in the public narrative, the team's internal priorities shifted. Look at the resource allocation. Ross Chastain is the veteran. Connor Zilisch is the future. SVG, he's the road course specialist. That's not me saying it. That's the brand identity Trackhouse has built around him. And when you're the road course specialist, guess where the engineering hours go? Not into making your oval setup competitive, They go into making sure you don't embarrass the team at the Glen. And here's the most damning quote of the season. Justin Marks on Sirius XM when asked about SVG's pace at Watkins Glen practice where Shane was 29th on the speed charts before storming to victory. Marks brushed it off. No urgency, no we'll get to the bottom of it, just vibes. Compare that to Rick Hendrick, who, when Kyle Larson struggled at Bristol earlier this season, had 3 engineers on a plane the next morning. That's the difference between a team that's playing to win championships and a team that's playing to sell merch. And here's the curiosity gap that should be keeping every Anzac fan up at night. If Shane stays at Trackhouse through 2027, does he ever escape the road course guy label? Or does he become the next Marcos Ambrose, brilliant, beloved, and ultimately wasted by a team that didn't know what it had because somebody in Concord, North Carolina, is watching all of this very, very closely. And his name is Rick Hendrick. Now we get to the meat of it, the part that's going to make every Kiwi watching this lean forward. Hendrick Motorsports has a problem, and that problem has a name, Alex Bowman, the number 48 car. Bowman's contract is up at the end of 2026. His numbers are down. He's been battling health issues, and the rumor mill at NASCAR has been absolutely cooking on what Rick Hendrick does next. The Daily Downforce reported in detail on Hendrick's options for the number 48 in 2027. Yahoo Sports ran a piece literally titled, "Insiders Name Potential Alex Bowman Replacement at Hendrick Motorsports." Corey Day, the dirt prodigy, is one name in the mix. Daniel Dye is another. But here's what NASCAR Inside Lane and multiple insider channels have been hinting at and what's lighting up Kiwi NASCAR Twitter right now. Rick Hendrick has personally expressed interest in Shane van Gisbergen. Think about why this makes sense. Hendrick doesn't need another oval specialist. He's got Kyle Larson, William Byron, Chase Elliott. What he needs is a weapon for the road course races. The international marketing reach SVG brings and a driver hungry enough to outwork everyone in the building. Shane checks every box, and here's where it gets juicy. Hendrick has the engineering depth that Trackhouse simply does not. Put SVG in a Hendrick chassis, the same chassis that won the 2021, 2023, and 2025 Cup championships, and you're not looking at a 24th place oval driver anymore. You're looking at a guy who could realistically podium at Kansas, at Vegas, at Homestead. This isn't fantasy booking. This is what happens when you take elite talent out of mediocre equipment. But here's the question, and it's a brutal one. Would Trackhouse actually let Shane walk, or are they going to use the contract leverage to keep him chained to that road course label forever? Quick pause. Before I get into the contract endgame, and trust me, this is where it gets spicy, I need to ask you something mate to mate. If you're an Aussie or Kiwi watching this right now, you already know what it feels like to watch one of our own get held back. We saw it with Ambrose. We saw it with Mark Webber in F1. We are not going to sit and watch it happen to SVG without making some noise. This channel, NASCAR Nation Decoded, exists for one reason: to be the voice that the American mainstream media won't be. To dig into the politics, the engineering, the contracts, the real story behind why our drivers succeed or struggle. If you want Shane in a Hendrick car in 2027, if you want to see what he can really do with proper equipment, hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me, for him. Every subscriber tells the algorithm that Anzac fans matter in this sport. Every comment forces NASCAR to listen. We are the loudest, most loyal motorsport fans on the planet. Let's act like it. Right. Back to the conspiracy. Here's where the timeline gets interesting. Shane's current Trackhouse deal runs through 2026 with team options going into 2027. That means right now, at this very moment, late May 2026, agents, lawyers, and team principals are having quiet dinners in Charlotte. The silly season hasn't officially started, but the chess pieces are already moving. And here's a detail that nobody in the mainstream press is connecting. Rick Hendrick is friends with Justin Marks. He's also a mentor to Marks. Hendrick was reportedly behind some of the early Trackhouse moves. Now, normally that friendship would prevent a poaching attempt, but Hendrick has a long history of doing what's best for Hendrick Motorsports. Full stop. Just ask the dozens of drivers he swapped out over the decades. If Hendrick decides Shane is the guy for the number 48, that deal gets done quietly, cleanly, probably announced sometime in late summer 2026 at one of the road course weekends, possibly even at Watkins Glen, where Shane has built his legend. And here's the kicker for Trackhouse. If they lose SVG, they lose their entire international marketing strategy. They lose the Kiwi fan base. They lose the Aussie merchandise sales. They lose the Project 91 ethos that built the team's identity in the first place. That's a catastrophic loss for Justin Marks, and he knows it. So what does Trackhouse do? They got two options. Option one, throw everything at SVG's oval program right now. Spend the money, hire the engineers, prove they can compete. Option two, let politics win. Keep him in his road course specialist box and watch him walk to Hendrick at the end of the year. Based on what we've seen so far, the Kansas disaster, the lukewarm Justin Marks quotes, the Reddit threads exposing the equipment gap, option two is looking more likely by the week. So here's where I leave you. NASCAR Nation. Shane van Gisbergen is too good to be the 16th best driver in the Cup Series. We all know it. He knows it. Rick Hendrick definitely knows it. The question isn't if SVG ends up in better equipment. The question is when and who makes the move first. But I want to throw something at you that's been bugging me for weeks, and I want your honest opinion in the comments below. Is Rick Hendrick actually SVG's savior here, or is he just another billionaire boss with an agenda? A guy who sees a marketing opportunity and a road course weapon, who'll use Shane for 2 years, squeeze the value out, and then move on to the next prospect when Corey Day or Connor Zilisch matures. Because let's be honest, Hendrick Motorsports isn't a charity. It's a championship machine, and championship machines chew up drivers who don't deliver immediately. Just ask Casey Kane. Just ask half a dozen blokes before him. So you tell me, Trackhouse politics or Hendrick pressure cooker? Which is the lesser evil for our Kiwi legend? Drop your verdict in the comments, tag your mates. Let's get this video to every Australian and New Zealand NASCAR fan who's tired of watching Shane get a raw deal. I'm out. Catch you in the next one.